Okay, so I need to do a 100-hour interval on my zero turn. It's a Kawasaki FR691V. So we'll start out with the most easiest thing, which is the air filter. Okay, so to replace this air filter, it's really easy. There's just a screw right here that you can hand do. So you're just gonna untighten this, and there's a clamp right here. And what this does is it's gonna be able to help this unloosen it. And then what you do is you pull this back and wiggle it out. And as you can tell, the air filter is out. All right, so now we can put in the new air filter. And as you can tell, I had that little cloth around it. Well, not really cloth, but I don't know. Somebody comment in the comments what that is. So again, just pull this back, wiggle it in there, make sure it's in there nice and tight. And then just, see, you gotta make sure it's pushed in there nice and tight. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to hold that right there, and then I'm gonna hand tighten it. Make sure that it is completely in. And then you're just gonna hand tighten it until you feel that it's nice and snug. And I have one more little hand tight right there. All right, and I am confident that that is in there. So that is how you do the air filter. Okay, so I'm gonna teach you how to replace the fuel filter. So actually, I bought an Amazon kit and it gave me this filter right here. But as compared to the OEM filter, it's a huge difference. So make sure when you're ordering an Amazon kit that you get a good fuel filter. You might have to just order the fuel filter. I think it was about $7, something like that. It was $15 for a pack of 2. So this is, I feel a lot more confident installing this than that. All right, so to replace this filter, there's basically these clamps, and you just push them in, and you pull them back to let them off. This one's gonna be a hard one to get to. They might be a little bit stubborn. Okay, so I just pulled off this other clamp. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a different clamp, so that's really frustrating to do. So now I'm just gonna pull off this fuel filter. And it might be stubborn, as you can tell. Golly, very stubborn. Okay, so now I'm ready to put the new fuel filter on. And so basically what you need to pay attention is there's an arrow, and the fuel comes up from here, right here, and then it goes into the engine right there. So you just need to make sure that the flow of direction is right. So now I'm just gonna stuff those in there. Make sure you get it in there nice and tight until you get it up to that part right there. And then it's just a matter of putting those clamps back on there. Okay, so I just put those clamps on off video. And as you can tell, my flow of direction is correct. And I pretty much just installed it. And as you can tell, that's the old fuel filter. It still has a little bit of fuel in it. So you just need to be careful when you're taking this apart, because gas will spill out. You could put little clamps on there to make sure the fuel doesn't come out. But yeah, just make sure you're doing this on concrete or nowhere on the grass. Okay, so let's replace the spark plugs. There's one right here, and there's one over here. So let's start on this one right here. So it's really simple. You just want to loosen this boot right here, take it off, and take a 13/16 socket and untwist it. So here's the old one, and here's the new one. And you just want to make sure that your gap is correct. You can get a gap tool to make sure that it's spaced correctly. And what we're going to do is we're going to take that and hand tighten it in so we don't cross thread it. Okay, so I've hand tightened that as much as I can. And what you want to do is you want to put your socket set back in there and just try to tighten it. There is a torque wrench, but I'm just going to hand tighten it. And then you're just going to put that boot right back on. Okay, so now we're just going to repeat that same process on this side. Okay, so that concludes this 100-hour interval for this zero turn. I'm hoping to get 300 hours out of this zero turn. Not really sure if I can. Only time will be able to tell, but if you like this video, please leave a comment and leave a like.